Peggy 3.
You're watching The Boot Room. I'm Matt Cuttle. This is Darren Cross from Match Magazine, and this time we're talking about formations, aren't we, Darren?
Yeah, the formation should be one of the first things you think about when you're using a new club or building an ultimate team. And we've got 5 that we're going to look at today that will suit different types of players.
Okay, so we've got 5 formations. What's the first one you got for us?
The first one is the 4-5-1, and there are 2 versions of this. Both versions are good if you're a counter-attacking sort of player, and they're also great for keeping possession and having lots of build-up play, sort of slow build-up and moving the ball around.
So having 5 players in the centre of the field, I guess that not only helps with attack, but also in supporting your defenders as well.
Yeah, I'd say the main strength of the 4-5-1 is that it's very, very difficult for the team to break it down. So you've got a standard back 4, obviously supported by 5 across the middle.
Now, the next formation also has 5 in midfield, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a 3-5-2. It's another really, really popular formation, again, because you know, any formation with the 5 across the middle is going to help you keep possession. But the main differences here, obviously, is that you've got an extra striker, so you've got a strike partnership, which a lot of people find more comfortable. I think it is quite a challenge to play with just one lone striker, because it's, you know, it can be difficult to get support for him, so a lot of players prefer to, and the 3-5-2 obviously gives you that.
So with that formation, you've got 3 at the back. Is your defence completely exposed to wide play, or is there something you can do to help yourself out there?
Yeah, not completely. You'll find that sometimes the 2 holding midfielders will drop back into more defensive positions, and that can push your wider centre-backs out, which can help with the sort of defending against crosses and wide play.
So tweaking things slightly from the first formation, what type of player does this support?
Yeah, so again, it's really a possession type player that wants to make sure things are, you know, it's easier to keep the ball in the middle, but then it's going to, the differences from the 4-5-1 is that you've got the 2 up front, so it's probably a little bit more attacking than the 4-5-1, so it's going to suit you if you only want to play with a strike partnership but want to keep that 5 in the middle.
Okay, so moving away from having 5 players in midfield, what's your next formation?
The next one is the 4-1-2-1-2, and again there are 2 versions of this, a wide version and a narrow version. The wider version has an LM and an RM, and the narrow version just has central players. The wider version, I find, it's a real favourite of mine. I've used it a lot over the years because it's so versatile. You can play wide with it using the wingers, you can go through the centre using the cam or the CDM as the main players, and then obviously you've got the strike partnership as well.
Tell us more about the narrow version.
Yeah, the narrow one is really going to suit you if you like to play through the centre. So again, it might be lots of quick passes and 1-2s between your central midfield players onto your attacking midfielder and then linking up with your strikers. The main disadvantage to that is obviously there's no natural width out wide in midfield. So I find when I'm playing against a narrow formation like that, simply just playing wide with my wingers, it usually gets me a lot of space, and you can take advantage from there.
Right, we're now coming to your absolute favourite formation, which is the
4-2-3-1, the second version of the 2 in the brackets after it.
And why is this such a favourite of yours?
I switched to it in FIFA 14 and I've just been playing with it now for a couple of months, and I really enjoy it. It's a very well balanced formation. You've got the standard back 4. There are 2 central defensive midfield players and the natural wingers. And then you've got the key positions ahead of those, which for me are the cam position and the striker position.
Now you actually swap your LM and your RM around, don't you? So you've got a left-footed player on the right and a right-footed player on the left. Yeah,
exactly. I use what they call inverted wingers with that, and that's because sometimes the central striker, as we've said before, with formations with just one forward, can be isolated, and I like to bring the wingers infield to support him as much as possible. And again, going back to an earlier show, there are things you can do in custom tactics that will make your players make sort of certain runs to support players ahead of them and be a bit more free form with the build-up, and that's the way I like to use this formation. Lots of movement and lots of passing, and it's really important not to isolate that striker, which is why I bring the midfielders and the wingers in to support him.
Do you know what, that formation appeals to me. I think I'm going to start giving that one a go.
I definitely recommend it. It's worked for me.
Moving on from what's probably going to become my new favourite formation, what's the last one we've got?
Yeah, the last one I wanted to look at was the 4-3-3 with the LW, the RW and the 3 central midfielders. Again, it's a really fluid formation. You can put some nice passing moves together and use a lot of that movement to find spaces in the other team's defence. You can play quite varied with it, so you might go for a big striker that's good at heading and again use those wingers to whip balls in, or you can go for sort of 3 small, quicker, more technical players in those positions and just look to dribble and pass and link up and go for goal that way.
Great, so have an experiment and find out what works for you. Darren, what are we looking at next time?
Next time we're going to look at penalties, how to score them and how to save them as well.
Excellent, look forward to that. Don't forget you can catch Darren Cross in Match Magazine, that's out every Tuesday. Also check out their Facebook page, details are on screen now. We'll see you next time on The Boot Room.